Liverpool could bid for the really special £86 million attacker this summer. Liverpool are keen to make an opportunistic offer to bring Federico Chiesa to Anfield this summer. It is expected that Liverpool could capitalise on Juventus' ongoing financial scandal to sign Federico Chiesa in the summer, with the Serie A side deprived of their best players until the end of the season. According to journalist Peter Ork, the financial crisis could lead clubs like Liverpool to try to sign him. In the summer, Liverpool and other Premier League clubs may need to look at him and see if they can take advantage of Juventus' finances, Ork said. Juventus have been suspended 15 points this season due to financial irregularities and miscalculation related to past transfer deals, with more penalties expected to hit Bianconeri. With these, there is every chance that some of the club's biggest names will want to leave in the summer. At this stage, Chiesa is a name to consider at the end of the season. 18 months ago, a lot could have been written about why Federico Chiesa would be an absolutely perfect signing for Liverpool. He's explosive, daring, and an ambidextrous player who can fit seamlessly into Jürgen Klopp's play style. But the past few years have not been kind to the 25-year-old Italian star. He suffered a serious knee injury last January. He ruined his hopes of starting an impressive European Championship with Italy. Since then, Chiesa hasn't looked like the same actress. Still, its potential is quite impressive. While the Reds have increased their offensive options, Chiesa is seen by some as the heir to Mohamed Salah's throne at Anfield. Given that Liverpool needs someone to represent Mohamed Salah on the offensive right, the Italian player fits the bill nicely. Lively and ruthless, Chiesa has previously been compared by Joe Cole to Liverpool hero Luis Suarez. The biggest trait Chiesa has is that she plays with humility. She runs around like a young Luis Suarez character, she said. The former Fiorentina man has been called really special by the legendary Gigi Buffon. And as a result of Juventus' problems, may be available for an offer approaching the negotiable fee. Liverpool were previously reported to be looking to sign Chiesa for £60 million in 2020. Testing the waters with a much lower bid might be a smart move this summer. The January transfer window has just closed, he may be, but there is a growing feeling from Liverpool experts that this summer will be a huge spend for the Reds. Jürgen Klopp is poised to potentially rebuild his biggest squad ever. While Chiesa is an incredible signing on his own, he is Salah's successor in the Reds roster. They have bigger problems than spending big on the midfielder, and the budget is big for next summer transfer window. Some of it will be spent on this position, but given the current form of Egyptian star Salah, he could face a possible breakup at the end of the season. Proceeds from the sale of Salah can be used for Chiesa. Liverpool are on the verge of tying their core player by 2025. According to the latest information, Roberto Firmino is on the verge of signing a new Liverpool contract. The Brazilian's deal expires this summer. Roberto Firmino is allegedly now approaching a new contract. Firmino's contract currently expires at the end of this season, but there have been rumours recently that Liverpool want him to sign a new one. Jürgen Klopp openly admitted that he wanted the Brazilian to stay. And now it looks like he will. His manager spoke to Sky Germany this week and made it pretty clear what was going to happen. "We're in a super change, and by February we'll probably know where the journey is going," he said. "We're on a good track. We're having really good talks with Liverpool. This is an outstanding club," he said. The journalist said the Reds are now on the verge of making it happen. Firmino is on the verge of staying at Liverpool, as his manager has confirmed at Sky. The decision will be made soon. He generally wanted to sign a new contract until 2025, he said. This is the news Jürgen Klopp will want to hear. He admired Firmino this season and described him as extraordinary and the heart and soul of this team. Given Firmino's form, it's hard to disagree. The Brazilian feels irreplaceable for everything he brings. Therefore, it would not be wrong to call this contract one of Liverpool's most important deals of 2023. Working with number 9 for 2 years will be huge. He will let Liverpool move forward with this incredible striker selection. Losing him probably means having to take his place in some way. And the Reds really can't afford to spend that kind of money. Not only is there no obvious backup, but the midfield needs all the investment it can get. So it's definitely wise to renew Firmino's contract. After Firmino leaves, a lot of money can be spent to fill his place and he certainly may not be able to give his contribution. The Brazilian player knows the club and is certainly aware of what Klopp wants from him. With his wit and playfulness, there can be a connection at the very center of his offensive variations. His finishing is at a high level and he can be midfielder. For Klopp, many aspects are tempting. This season, he showed us that he is indispensable even after Darwin Nunez was transferred, and the team suffered offensive difficulties in the matches he did not have due to his injury. Moreover, Firmino's stay in the team will provide an opportunity to guide the stars who can replace him. Liverpool could sell their excellent player for less than £10 million. It looks like Liverpool will have to lower the price they set on whether Nat Phillips will be removed from his future at Anfield. Phillips looked ready to leave the club on the deadline day yesterday. However, Ibrahima Konate's last-minute injury on top of Virgil van Dijk's ongoing trouble left the 25-year-old to go nowhere. That in itself was a slice of misfortune in a career filled with them up to this point. There is not much to account for this. Liverpool need to stay at the moment. The problem lies in the 4 weeks of the window that continues this final day drama. According to The Athletic, Liverpool are seeking £10 million to let Phillips go. That's more or less a price tag that has remained consistent over the past 18 months, despite Phillips' sparing prominence at the time. Paying for a Premier League level centre-back may not seem like much. But either way, the Reds haven't had much luck with that so far. If Liverpool had dropped this earlier, they wouldn't have been stuck with a player who has no future at the club now. Can be used in the absence of Konate and Van Dijk. But regardless, it's time for Liverpool to have a player of the better caliber and let Phillips go and start his career elsewhere. There is an argument that Phillips would have left some time ago if Liverpool didn't have such injury-prone centre-backs. Yet when you consider the fact that he's been openly available for a year and a half, this becomes blatant nonsense. Instead, no one was willing to meet the price Liverpool wanted. There was reportedly a lot of interest in Phillips at the time. However, as there were not enough bids, the Reds were unable to drop it. At a time when Liverpool still relied on outbound transfers to fund the inbounds, this hasn't been helpful. Currently on their roster, Phillips is one of the few tradable assets Jürgen Klopp can afford to lose. As a result, you can understand that the club is trying to extract full value for him. But how can they expect any club to come along and meet that valuation while they continue to linger on the roster without playing? It's time for Liverpool to cut their losses with Phillips. He's a good enough player, even being called excellent by Stuttgart former football director Sven Mislintat. But it is clear that he has no long-term future at Anfield. Now whatever they can get for him should be done. Better at best than forcing them to spend their peak years on the bench.